I'm Sam Henderson and I'm the Early Reading Lead at Westbury Federation. And this is my trusty assistant, Fred the Frog, who helps every child in our schools learn to read. At Westbury Federation, we follow the Read Write Ink scheme, and we've had some great success using it. First, we teach children one way to spell and read every sound in the English language. We give them a hook to help remember this sound with a visual cue. For example, A looks like an apple. Looks like two mountains. And S looks like a snake. We use a handwriting phrase from these two, such as slither down the snake. When we teach the initial sounds, we use short, pure sounds. For instance, P is P, not P. We try not to add an on the end of sounds, which is known as a schwa, because this can make it harder for children to blend the sounds together. Once children have learnt all of the single letter sounds, we teach them special friends. Special friends are when two friends, or graphemes, work together to make one sound. This can be with two or more graphemes. For example, E, A, I. Once children are confident reading and spelling with one spelling of the word, we then introduce others. For example, A, and A. We teach children to read using Fred Talk. Fred can't talk like a human. He can only speak in individual sounds and break words up. Can you give me some things to do, Fred? Fred says, n. N. Run! What's next, Fred? Op. Op. Hop. We use lots of Fred Talk with the children in reception to help them learn to orally blend. Then, when they can recognise the graphemes speedily and use Fred Talk, they can begin to read. We use Fred Talk when reading. For example, P-A-N, pan. And later, when the children have special friends, we prompt them to look for special friends, Fred Talk, then read the word. Special friends, A, Fred Talk, P-U-A, play. Children begin by reading a sound blending book. And this is lovely that it's a real book to take home. In the sound blending book, there will be CVC words. And on the following page will be a picture so the child can check that they were correct. These are for them to read with an adult. We want children to be successful and to love reading. It shouldn't be a chore, it should be something that's celebratory to do at home. So children are carefully grouped and should be reading books which they know all the sounds within. We also teach children the trickiest parts of that story before they read it. We use red words. You can't. Fred or red. These are the common exception words that the children will encounter in the story. For instance, all, people, and I. We teach children the difficult part to help them remember this spelling. I know I'm still saying Wednesday to myself every time I write Wednesday. And it's the same with children. If you teach them the parts that's tricky, they can remember it better. Along with teaching the red words for the story, we teach children story green words. These are the trickiest or longest parts of the story. I've got some from this book, Barker, as an example. These are all the longer words that the children will practice reading together. That way, when they encounter these words in the story, they're familiar with it, they recognise it and have the best chance of succeeding. Once children are competent reading the sound blending books, they progress to ditties. This is a step between the sound blending books and a storybook, where we have sounds to practice, the story green words, and a red word in every text. There's a lot of repetition in these typically, because by the time you get to the third line, the child might then recognise the word ah and naps. It gives them that chance to recognise it and read with some fluency. The children will practice reading these in class and then read the same thing at home to you. Children then progress onto storybooks. I've got some examples here. There'll be one that the child reads 3 times in school. They learn all the red words in it and they learn all the story green words. There are also some words, speedy green words, that the children should be able to read at a glance or rapidly. They practice these and practice reading the text in school for 3 days before they bring a copy of this home to read with you. They should be able to read this fluently, and it's a celebratory read to show off how hard they have worked and what a fantastic reader they are. Along with it will be a related storybook that they haven't read in school, and this says Book Bag Books on it. It's that extra read, and you can see this one's about a bad cat, so it's slightly related to this story about a cat. This story contains sounds that your child has already learnt, but they haven't yet read this, so this is an exciting first read with you, for you to enjoy that magic of that first discovery of a story. We really encourage reading and rereading. We don't want reading to be a struggle. By the time you've read a text 3 times, you become familiar with some of the words in there and can read with some fluency or expression to make the story exciting and use your lovely storyteller voice. It's the same as we progress through various levels, that there'll be a text the children have read 3 times in school to take home and an adjoining book bag book. Here's the text they'll have read in school, and here is the book bag book. The children read this 3 times in school. However, a group leader might think their storyteller voice isn't quite where they'd like yet, and make that assessment for learning and that decision to focus on it for another day. However, this is why we ask for children to bring in their book bag every single day and to keep these books safe, so when that group's ready to swap their books, your child has it ready. There are 10 of these books in every set, so it's really vital that they come back to school on time. Otherwise, the next group won't have those books ready. We have set up an e-book system online, so if for any reason you have misplaced a book, your child will still have the next one available online.